Hello, my name is MightyPredaking, and today we're going to take a look at the GDO Asia exclusive Wheelie. Now, they did release 4 GDO Deluxe figures at our Toys R Us, so you got Swerve, Cliff Jumper, which I had no interest in getting those. You had Springer, which we'll take a look at him in another video. And then you have Wheelie here. Now, to be quite honest, I've never been a fan of Wheelie. I didn't like his G1 toy, I didn't like him in the G1 cartoon, and I didn't like him in the Japanese Headmasters. But with all that said, I do dig this figure. Now, this is my first time owning this mold, and I know it was originally for Jazz, and they made other characters for this mold, but this really feels like this mold was made for Wheelie. It really ties in that well as far as card mode and robot mode. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card mode and get a look all the way around. So he does have these nice, kind of gunmetal looking wheels, and the orange plastic mold, which that's nice. That looks Wheelie. But the thing that I like about this GDO and this being, an Asia exclusive and not just, like the regular Jazz one, you can see that there's this nice orange paint goes all the way around. So not like the Generations Cup where it's missing the middle parts of the bumper. It goes all the way around. And then you also have the silver painted back here, which I believe that was missing on this version of Jazz. And you also have tail lights. I mean, just simple thing with like a window, painting the window and tail lights makes the vehicle look that much better, or at least in my opinion. Going around, looking, around here, you got the orange. It goes all the way around. I've said around probably a couple times already. Then you have this nice light blue. I want to say it's lighter than a baby blue. It's lighter than a Carolina blue as well. Then you also have this painted Autobot logo and these yellow painted headlights, which it's almost like they're painted over stickers, or maybe they're painted over this. So I'm not really sure. I don't own the Jazz, figure of this. And then you have these little clear fog lights there as well. So really cool looking vehicle. Now it looks like you could put this in here. Maybe. Oh, okay. Well, his wheel doesn't roll then. There, that wasn't on camera. So I guess you would have to kind of press down if you wanted to. Yeah, so it doesn't really roll if you put his little weapon in there, which he only comes with one. He comes with a slingshot. I guess you could hold it in his hand like this, but that just looks silly. That would be a very pathetic gun. So we'll just, leave it at that, slingshot. You might even, I probably wouldn't, but you could even probably cut that off to make it look a little bit more accurate. But let's look at a couple size comparisons real quick. Here is Generations 2 Sideswipe. So you can get an idea as far as the length of the vehicle. And one more. Wheelie was probably a little bit longer than Windcharger here, but that kind of gives you, I guess, a little rough idea for you G1 guys. And I've got a few other size comparisons whenever we get into robot mode. But let's go ahead and get the guy transformed. So the first thing you're going to do is pop the doors open just like this. He still comes with those little speaker boom boxes that was mainly for Jazz. They left them in there. If you want to use them, you can use them. I'm just going to leave them there. I guess you could even take them off and put them in your package or throw them away if you wanted to. But, they're there. No big deal. Then with this part, you're just going to lift up on this while you're pulling this back section out. And it'll just kind of release on those 2 pegs there. And just extend that. We'll go ahead and separate the legs here. And we're going to lift up on the foot, swing that around, and start swinging this around all the way, and make sure those legs are fully extended. And then you can come up just like so. Move that up. Bring these legs all the way around to where they're fully extended, and then you can bring the foot and kind of connect right there. Then with this top portion, you're going to lift up on these arms, separate here, and then when you come down with this part here, you can see that there's a little mechanism that his head kind of just pops into place, which is kind of cool, but I'll show you here in a second that it kind of hinders a little bit of the movement of the figure. So we'll put him in a quick pose real quick. Just put that there. Put him like he's pulling back a slingshot. And, some pretty dynamic poses. So this guy's really well articulated. And we'll get a little spin on him. Now his doors do, on the directions, they show it to have like this. But he didn't have doors, or it didn't look like he had doors in the cartoon. So I think this kind of, it makes it look too jazzy. So especially if you have the jazz figure, any other figure with this mold, I would definitely probably leave his doors backwards or back. So it kind of hides him a little bit, so it looks a little bit more like the Wheelie character and doesn't kind of just look like your army building. You just got a guy with a different paint job and a different head, because that's essentially what he is. But let's go ahead and look over the articulation real quick, and then we'll do some size comparisons and transform them back. Now with his arm, you can see that if you just move this around, his head pops down, his chest comes up, which is a little bit annoying. I wish that there was like a clip in here that you could, keep that down. So I'm just going to hold that right now, and we'll take a look at his head. You can spin it about that far is about all you can do. But if you push down a little bit and lift up on his head, you can come up with it and he can move it around there. Now, like I said before, this is paint, so eventually if you keep on doing that, you might end up scratching the paint. That's just something that, if you're willing to risk it. And let's go ahead and look at his head sculpt real quick before I forget that. But he doesn't have light piping. He's got blue painted eyes, and then he's got blue in this little line thing up here. And what's kind of cool is it looks like he has dimples, which resembles him pretty well in the show. So that's something that I think was a nice attention to detail. I mean, that definitely looks like Wheelie. And with the arms here, you have a ball joint, so you can move back and forth. Sometimes they get a little bit hindered here because of the door, but you can work it out. Then you have swivel here at the bicep, two joints here at the knee, so you can bend here or bend here. So let's go ahead and get that top one done, and you can see that you can even do the bottom as well. So pretty flexible arms, and he also does have quite a bit of rotation here in the hand as well. Now as far as the waist goes, he can rotate a little bit. That's about it. But with this section here, if you just kind of pull that out, you can see that you could even go 360 degrees with him. And his chest is popping all over the place again. But we'll just put that back up there so he doesn't look as kibbly. He does have quite a bit of motion here in the ball joints here in the leg. Does swivel here at the thigh. And then he also has the two joints and the knee as well. So he has that one there. And then he also has that one there. So it kind of makes it good for those poses that I kind of had it in a while ago. And with his feet, really nice feet. I like the big heel spurs in the back. It really helps him put him in some nice poses. And you can move that as well if you'd like to. So let's get him stood up straight here, and then we can take a look at him and a few other Transformers. I just want to make sure it focuses. There we go. There is Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. So he's still a little bit taller than Optimus. I think Optimus, they should have made this guy taller, but we've already done a review and I've expressed that feeling. There is, for no reason, G1 Punch Counter Punch. And for one more size comparison, because it's actually in scale with this guy, or maybe Wheelie should be a little bit smaller still, but Masterpiece Grimlock. So there's a look at him. Now let's go ahead and get this guy transformed again, and we will be done with this. So the first thing we'll do is make sure his head is straight. These arms, we're going to have the shoulders, or top of his shoulders, facing us. So just like that. And we're going to pull out the doors, pull this back around, flip that up. And these two sections right here, you'll see that little peg and that hole there. They're going to kind of fit in together while pushing that, and that's going to develop that part right there. So just make sure that those two things peg in together. Then with the arms, you're just going to kind of just bring them around the head area here. And that's why you want the shoulders facing you whenever you start the transformation of this guy back to his car mode. Then with the legs, just pull these together. You're going to just spin this around all the way to where it fits flush and won't go anymore. Flip his foot down. And we'll do the other one as well. So just spin this around all the way. Flip this foot down. And then you can go ahead and peg this bottom part section in together. And then there's these two pegs right here, which are going to fit on the inside right in there, so you can see that. And just kind of bring this down just like this. Oops. There we go. Get those slid in there. And then you can close the doors on both sides. And there you have Wheelie transformed again. So everything's really nice. It doesn't really, he is a robot in disguise. So you really can't tell that, he is a robot. So I think that was a really nice job as well. That's something that I always pick on. The spoiler does go up and down. And there's GDO Wheelie. I highly recommend getting him. He was on the website whenever I was shopping for him. I have yet to see this guy in my store, but if you do, definitely pick him up. Ask your parents for him, or if you're an adult, buy him on your own. This is a really great addition to your Transformer collection. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will follow up with, you guys let me know in the comments, either Springer, GDO Springer, and I'm also getting in the TFC Toy Phantom, the PE12 Reflector, the Asia exclusive Ultra Magnus, and a few other vintage items as well. So talk to you later, guys. Bye.